So it's Wednesday, the 20th of March 2024. Trying to make a quick update there. I've been speaking about this neighbour above me there now, and he's been harassing me since this is going on since 2020. He's basically harassing like my daughter, basically my wife, in an effort to kind of try and provoke us. I've shown plenty of kind of videos and recordings and stuff throughout the years showing this fella's behaviour. But what they're after doing, they're after splitting the apartment into two. There's another kind of couple up there. We don't put in on each other, so there's no issue there. But we have this like clown still living directly up over our head in the bedroom. Follows me all around the apartment. I spoke about all of this, and I speak about it more with my wife on camera. So I'll just show you the kind of stuff that's been done, because it's all to do with this whole gang stalking thing. And he's linked in with Waterford City Council. The owner of the apartment is linked in with Waterford City Council. Go back to the videos, you can see the kind of when they sent in the builders. Every time my daughter was trying to go to sleep, kind of purposely sending them in and then implying the fucking that there was no reason with me, which kind of implied that they were after trying to speak to me, which was all lies. I wanted to show this. I've been speaking about this kind of a long time now. Not sure if you can see that there because the camera is so small. See him there? This is him, right? And you can see the alcove underneath the stairs there, look. That's the steps leading up to my apartment. This is my car. This was a, one second, just check it. This was 2020. Right, I'm not sure if you can see that down there because the camera is so small, but see him down there, look. So that's at and this is my car up here, look, the black car. This is the steps leading up to my apartment there. And this is at 5 to 4 in the morning, and it's 2020 on the 21st of the 9th. And this was the night my brakes, the first time my brakes were cut. This was the first time. Obviously I reported it, right? Guards knocked at the door. They repeatedly knocked at his door, and the way of dealing with it was to tell me that they knocked at his door and he won't answer. Now this is the same. You can go back to all my own all my old uploads, and you see the kind of banging and the harassing from this clown up over us. Like, and it was the same. Guards probably knocked, say, close to a dozen times, and each time he won't answer the door. And that was Waterford Gardaí's way of dealing with this, to say that they knocked at his door and he won't answer the door. Now I'd like to think that that's harassment. Do you know what I mean? Criminal damage. Do you know what I mean? So why would you be down even in that space? Not sure if you can see now, the camera's pretty small. At 5 to 4 in the morning, do you know what I mean? And what he was doing after this then is he was coming out and he's pouring cooking oil around the wheels of my car there, because I thought it was the brake hoses then after that, because that's what happened, was the brake hoses were cut on the wheels. And that was in 2020. It was done again in 2021, done again I think in 2022 at some stage. And it was done again then the start of this year, 2024. But I'll speak more on that with my wife on camera, just to give you kind of an insight of the kind of shit that we have to put up with this clown up over us. And he's strategically put in there at the request of Waterford City Council in an effort to try and fucking provoke me and make it unlivable here. Obviously I'm still being followed around by these subcontracting people linked in with Waterford City Council, desperate to kind of like, you know what I mean, get their contracts out of it, you know what I mean? And they're associated with members of fucking Sinn Féin, predominantly David Connan and his association with fucking John Halligan, which I've been speaking about constantly. But I'll prove all this. This is going to take me a while. It's very difficult to kind of prove this, but I will prove it. And when I do prove it, I'd like to think that like this harassment and stalking someone is criminality. So the guards should like fucking investigate it as a criminal matter, should they not? But I will prove it. Give me time and I'll prove it. Another thing I wanted to bring up there, I spoke about me ex, how she appeared on the Two Norries podcast in 2022, slandered me, spoke about my family, brought up stuff about my fucking mother on it and everything. To cut a long story short, the Two Norries had to fucking issue me with an apology for platforming this fucking glorified liar. Do you know what I mean? And this was all organised through a member of Tusla and through members of Sinn Féin to platform her in an effort to try and cut off all kind of access of me getting the story out by kind of promoting this kind of liar, which is essentially what she is. She's a dangerous liar, and I'm going to speak about all of this and this person's actions and what I was told about this person in fucking, when I met her in rehab. I have two kind of real regrets in life. One is that I want a better son to my kind of parents before they passed away, and the second one is that I ever set eyes on this woman. Because she's absolute fucking poison to the highest like order, and people won't like believe how bad this person is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to explain what it is, and I'll show documentation, and it'll show you exactly what this person is, why she's being touted around by Tussle as some kind of role model, because Tussle needs to kind of like protect this person, because I spoke about a psychologist and Carrie and her corruption, which assisted fucking Tussle covering up something. So now Tussle is covering for Anne Carey by like supporting the ex. But to get back to the podcast, it's after vanishing down there, after being cancelled basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, lo and behold, do you know what I mean? So much for the code of ethics, because as I pointed out, the platform, the lawyer, and even Blind by Boat Club, because I was tagging him in some of the posts, he made it his business to kind of point out that he would never have a guest on who kind of basically was on it to slander someone, which is essentially what they done. The two Norries walked her through her fucking lies, and it wasn't just one or two lies, it was just lies from start to finish. She couldn't even admit to going back taking drugs. We both started taking drugs again around 2010. Do you know what I mean? She was getting them in Dublin, bringing them down. She lied about all of this, said she was off of drugs, made me look like I was the person that was taking the drugs and all this. This was all lies. We were both taking the drugs. We were both willing and able and fucking, we were both complicit in it. But she was trying to spin this kind of narrative that she's someone that she's not. But that was on 1/24, I think. You can go back and Google all that, because I put up my posts on TikTok. And you can kind of compare what I put up on TikTok and compare to what she said on that, and it'll show you basically that this woman is a dangerous well. But after that, right, Helen McEntee appeared on episode 180, right, and her and the two Norries, they had the cheek to talk about, right, people's families being affected by stuff putting up on social media. Now, bearing in mind, my ex was on the two Norries speaking about me, stuff for me daughter to fucking hear, lying about it, bringing up me mother. And Helen McEntee was aware that the two Norries had to issue me an apology like fucking months before this. And she still goes down and sits on this podcast, do you know what I mean? So that's the professionalism of these fucking people, do you know what I mean? But I want to go back to that whole kind of stuff with children's group link, because that's essentially, that has a lot to do with all of this stuff in Waterford. They're trying to suppress fucking information that I'm talking about, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if I'm lying, you would bring me to court, would you not? You would go up to the guards. I have the Gardaí driving around constantly in my apartment, along with these kind of cronies linked in with Waterford City Council, which I will prove. It'll just take me time, as I said, but I have Waterford Gardaí. This is how your resources are being fucking used. And I'm going to bring up something there now. The whole Bill Keneally case, right? Go on to Spotify, go on to Google Podcasts, and I think it's the last one, on Nicola Tallant on the Sunday World. Listen to what she has to say regarding the whole Bill Keneally situation, right? You have allegations, sexual allegations made in the 80s to Waterford Gardaí. They failed to act. And basically it was dealt with, like, as we know, over the last couple of years now, but it was been reported, right? And Waterford Gardaí failed to follow protocol. But not only that, you have members of the church who fucking knew what was going on. Do you know what I mean? And then you have political influence pulling strings to make sure that this went nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Now, does that not sound very familiar to what I'm talking about? Do you know what I mean? Regarding the whole children's group link, which was first reported in 1990, then again in the 2000s, then in the 2010s, and you have the same political fucking influence. Do you know what I mean? You have the church knowing about it, a member of the church knowing about it. Do you know what I mean? Does that not all sound very familiar? Do you know what I mean? And the Gardaí in the same station carrying on the same way, and that's not an issue to people. Like, you have all that murky stuff up in children's group. That's going on since the 90s, right? It's going on to the 2000s. I actually worked up. I seen it myself with my own eyes with two of my workmates. And they know this. I worked up there when they were doing fucking renovations up there as a builder. I seen it with two of my mates. I seen what was going on up there. Do you know what I mean? And the girl that has to stand down court there now in a bunch of fucking, like, riff-raff, let's be honest about it, down there. Do you know what I mean? While he's hidden away in a fucking room so nobody gets to see what he's fucking down there for. Despicable. Where's the duty of care that's owed to this fucking girl or the other girl? Do you know what I mean? And they blame me then for being a fucking loose cannon. And this is what your subcontractor builders are really assisting in Waterford. And it's high time that people fucking named and shamed these people. Do you know what I mean? And I'll prove that they're following me around, and I'll show you, and I'll link them all up together in due time. But I've been speaking about kind of Mary Halligan and how she knew of certain accusations. Now, Mary Halligan would be the sister of John Halligan, as we know. At the end of the day, if this is not true, take a legal action. Take a legal action against me. Do you know what I mean? Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? Call my bluff. Take me to court. I will defend myself. It's as simple as that. I would only fucking love the chance to defend myself. But it's not just her. She was aware of multiple accusations. She wasn't aware of all of them. It's as simple as that, I'll be honest with that, but she was aware of fucking several of them, okay? So how can you name that charity after her, right? Unless she's been fucking investigated and cleared of any wrongdoing, you shouldn't be naming a charity after her, should you not? And whose idea was it to put her forward to name the fucking charity after her? Do you know what I mean? Considering everything that has gone wrong, or gone on, or gone wrong, whatever way you want to put it. The board of management up there is to blame just as much as the fucking accused is to blame. Do you know what I mean? And there's still one or two members up there who are not part of the whole fucking Halligan dynasty, but they're very fucking complicit in covering up certain things up there. Do you know what I mean? And even if you were to say that that some of the girls kind of threw themselves as such and such a person, this is the kind of route that they're going down, that it was a kind of, it was consensual, right? This is the whole kind of shite that they're going down, basically. But even if it was consensual, it's still unethical. He still shouldn't be employed up there. You fucking promoted him. You put him back around girls again. Do you know what I mean? And not only did you fucking promote him, you tried to put him into politics only a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? Despite knowing of all the previous allegations. Do you know what I mean? And even if you say, well, he didn't do this one or he didn't do that one, there's a clear fucking there's a clear kind of like history of the same behaviour, do you know what I mean, towards girls. Now I could go into detail about that, but I can't for legal reasons, so I won't until the case is over, but I will when the time is right. But they could easily just say, well, I had nothing to do with it and I done my best to kind of look after the fucking girls, which is my kind of obligation up there. But you didn't. You continued to put them around people over and over and over again to discredit the girls, you know what I mean? And as I just said, going as far as to try and stick him into fucking politics a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? In an effort to try and suppress this. But my whole point is, you have that whole kind of Bill Keneally case, do you know what I mean? Which is essentially the same thing. It's not important, is it? Because it's fucking teenage girls, is it? So it's not as bad as the whole Bill Keneally case. That's basically what they're trying to say. That all these girls threw themselves at such and such a person. He couldn't even go into work with all these girls throwing themselves at him. Do you know what I mean? Like, does that make any sense? And they're all saying that he carried on the same way, brought off for spins, shared with affection, promised with jobs, promised with promotion. Do you know what I mean? And that's not even talking about the fact that fucking a certain individual that he's with now, that he met on the grounds of the fucking charity, and he knew her since she was a fucking child. Do you know what I mean? Let's not talk about any of that shit. Do you know what I mean? So there's a huge drive going on here to try and suppress this information. And at the end of the day, if I'm lying, take a fucking court case against me and show everyone in Ireland that I'm lying, that there's no truth to what I'm saying. Because I'd welcome the chance to defend myself once and for all in a courtroom. I'm pretty sure you're denying what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? You're hardly admitting it, are you? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to just fob me off because there's truth in what I'm saying. And whatever Gardaí's way of dealing with this there now is to hang around fucking me and fucking like follow me from A to B in an effort to try and harass me, do you know what I mean? Till I leave the town. This is essentially what's going on. Like, my daughter can't have a peaceful life. Like, I'm not entitled now to be housed. When you think about it, or me fucking wife or me daughter, we're not entitled now to be housed. Because Waterford City Council got caught being corrupt and I called it out. Now I'm not entitled to be fucking housed. Do you know what I mean? Roisin Doherty and Leo Kennedy got caught searching me mothers. This is fact. Why would I make this up? I'd have no reason to make this up. Do you know what I mean? And while I'm on the subject as well, Leo Kennedy, isn't your son getting contracts of a fucking Waterford City Council? Do you know what I mean? A lot more contracts than anybody else gets. That should also be looked into. While his buddies also get contracts who drive around my apartment fucking day in, day out and follow that tracker on my car. Now, as I said, I'm going to prove all that. It's going to take me some time, but I'll prove it and I'll show you. So do you really think I made all this stuff up? There's a mountain of paperwork that supports everything that I say. And for some reason, they won't take my complaints and they won't take the paperwork. And even when I post in the paperwork, into the likes of Michael Walsh, the CEO of Waterford Council, he ignores me. Why do you think they ignore me? Do you know what I mean? I have a reference there from Joe Daniels, who covered up for fucking Roisin Doherty and Leo Kennedy. I found out afterwards that the reference was an illegal document. That Waterford Council don't give references to anyone under no circumstances. So it was an illegal document. He basically gave it to us to get myself and my wife to sign back a house after 3 or 4 weeks, told us that we were going to be moved. It was all due to we lost our clothes, lost our possessions, we lost everything basically, our furniture and everything, like, and now we can't get housed. I'm like fucking 30 years or something on the housing list. And you have this clown above me, strategically put in there to harass me fucking daughter, and she's going to sleep day in, day out. So all of this needs to come out. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? You can spread whatever shit you want about me. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? This needs to come out. How come you can spread all this and I'm looking for it to be investigated, but there's no push for it to be investigated? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And rather than trying to prove me right for all the stuff that I've said, I understand you don't want to prove me right because your jobs and your pensions will be at fucking risk. Prove me wrong though. Prove me wrong. Show the people of Ireland that what I'm saying is fucking incorrect and hold me accountable. I just want to talk about one more thing there briefly there now. We got rid of Leo Varadkar now today. Our Taoiseach resigned, and then I was reading there recently fucking David Cullinane promoting that only Sinn Féin can sort the housing crisis. Like, do you know what I mean? Sinn Féin are one of the main parties who pushed for fucking open borders. Do you know what I mean? But it's just another lie from David Cullinane, who is a fucking liar. Do you know what I mean? Who's using the same network as his buddy John Halligan, which got John Halligan the most votes in Waterford. This is how David Cullinane got the most votes in Waterford. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But if there's any journalist out there or anything that wants to come to contact me and go through all the paperwork, I will show you paperwork that supports everything I say. Do you know what I mean? And this all originated with my ex, who I'm going to talk about, and Anne Carey out in Tramore. And this Anne Carey is employed by Waterford Tussle. Despite Tussle knowing how corrupt this person is, and despite him knowing that she's recruiting for the cult, the Baha'i faith, I unfortunately got mixed up with this crap. Do you know what I mean? It's 100% the cult. They deceive people, they manipulate people. Do you know what I mean? But as I said, Waterford Tussle are very aware of this woman's actions. Do you know what I mean? And she covered for Tussle, so Tussle covered for her. And that's why my ex is being supported in her kind of her hairdressing fucking program, which she's pushing, which is essentially my tattoo program. She changed the names and she changed the kind of tattooing thing, started using a hairdresser rather than tattooing. And she could have left it at that and could have just said, well, they were just similar. But then she had to release that she was now going into tattooing, because I'm not allowed to have anything with this woman. And anyone that knows this woman knows that, like, she's one of the most spiteful, devious fucking human beings ever. Do you know what I mean? And as I said in previous videos, I'm open to any investigation whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But instead of that, you have Waterford City Council, do you know what I mean? And their subcontractor fucking cronies and Waterford Gardaí harassing me and hanging around my apartment trying to kind of provoke me into kind of doing something. It made me feel kind of like socially ostracised. I don't really care, because the truth is going to come out eventually. And if it takes me another 11 years, so be it. Do you know what I mean? So I leave it there and I'll keep going. And if you can like share this video, I appreciate it. And yeah, I leave it there. I'll be making more videos soon or so. Thanks. Bye.